Hi there, good noon, and welcome to the session where we sit down together and work on some of the hottest question types and important questions for the CAT. You are on BYJU'S exam prep channel that is dedicated to your success as an MBA aspirant, and as a result we bring in a whole lot, a wide variety of sessions that cover every aspect of preparation at this particular place. So if you're new here, if you've not subscribed to our channel yet, that is the first thing that you are supposed to do. Okay, so hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you also get notifications for all the live sessions that we bring in regularly to this particular channel. My name is Vikrant and I'm your personal coach for all things related to English and communication skills. Additionally, I also dive into the mental aspects of the preparation. Right? So with that in mind, let us go ahead and start with a positive thought. So a lot of people think of discipline as a negative word. When they have to work consistently, regularly, day in and day out, they at times feel that they are in a prison. But the truth is that discipline is true freedom. Discipline simply means that you have chosen to control yourself. On the other hand, if you're not disciplined, if you are not controlling yourself, I bet there is somebody else who will start controlling you. So you will be indeed in a prison of someone else's creation. So do realize this simple equation. Discipline is equal to true freedom. And with that, let's get ready for our questions, where the very first set of 4 questions is going to test you on, any guesses? Reading comprehension. So hello Srishtu, Sonali, Angela, KK, Ajay, Tarun. So let us start. So take a couple of deep breaths and be ready to focus on the passage that will be on your screen very soon. Ready? So as usual, paragraph by paragraph, and once you are done, you're supposed to let me know in the chat box. So there you go. Wow, Srishtu, that was quick. Super quick, I must say. Okay, taking you over to the next paragraph. There you go. Look at how people described pizzas in the middle of the 19th century. Nauseating cake. Reeking out of the sewer. Oh my God. Okay, here is the next paragraph. So now we know where this name comes from. So taking you over to the next paragraph. Okay, so taking you over to the next. And here is the last part. So are we ready for the questions? I was actually surprised when I read this that Poland sells a spicy Indian version. See, all those things which are sold as spicy Indian curry, etc. outside is not at all like the curry that we use or the spices that we use. Okay, it is still made suitable to their local palates. Okay, so here you go. Question number 1 on your screen. What's your answer? So this is a question that is asked rather infrequently. Typically call it pronoun antecedent question. It's not asked very frequently in the exam, and therefore I don't even recall the last time around when I took you through it. But basically you need to figure out the part that is being referred to with the pronoun that. So which part does that refer to? And that'll basically give you the answer. So all that changed. What changed? Absolutely yes. The scornful attitude of foreigners towards pizza. Spot on. Here is the next question. Just to give you a hint, this is more of a vocabulary question asked in a very sly, clever manner. They're very close to being a vocabulary question actually. So what exactly is a paradox? A paradox is two contradictory, actually I shouldn't even say contradictory, I would say two seemingly contradictory, two apparently contradictory things occurring together. So the paradox that is mentioned in the last paragraph is this paradox. Something becoming more standardized and at the same time more susceptible to variation. I mean, when something becomes standardized, you typically not see variations. So on one hand you had standardization, on the other you had more variations. So two seemingly contradictory things happening together. So I am looking for an answer choice that gives you two seemingly contradictory things. So A, I know that I know nothing. Contradictory, right? So if you know nothing, how do you know this? So if I know that I know nothing, so at least you know something, right? You know that you know nothing. So this is definitely paradoxical. Then B, the majority of people believe that Earth is flat, therefore it should be considered flat. Not at all paradoxical. There are no contradictory bits here. C, the price hike is justified as the president himself upholds this spike in the price. Any contradictory element? Nope. D, last night a fire station caught fire and the workers were safely evacuated. Now I am sure some of you will look at it and say, hey, look at that, you know, a fire station catching fire, contradictory. No, a fire station is also at the end of the day just another building. It can catch fire. What you see in D is not a paradox but an irony. So if you've been reading up on your figures of speech, you actually call that an irony and not a paradox. So the only sentence that gives you a paradox is A, and therefore that's going to be our answer. Here is the next question. A specific detail question. Anybody who has this mental overview of the passage should find it easy. Arun, can you tell me which two things were contradictory in option C? Give me two things, okay? Here is thing 1, here is thing 2, and both of these are contradicting each other. Show that to me and then I can explain. I'd love to do that. But then I think once you start doing it, once you start looking for the two contradictory things, the question will resolve itself at that juncture. Okay. So third question asks, which of the following reasons did not, guys, not contribute? So D is something that has not been mentioned in the passage. The passage does not talk about cost of these goods coming down. The passage does not talk about economies of scale. People had more refrigerators because they had more disposable income. And with the greater availability of vehicles, the deliveries started happening. but they're not talking about costs or economies of scale. A, B and C, all of these, all the three are mentioned in the 7th paragraph. That'll be your third last paragraph. You know, the one that starts with by 1950s. So A, B and C are found there. And here is your fourth and the last question. Done. So what do we know about Lazzaroni? They were poor people. So they found it difficult to make their ends meet, to meet their ends, let me just rephrase it, to make their ends meet. That'll at least be better. So A can definitely be inferred. B, they were always in search of work, can be inferred. Just need to refer to the second paragraph. C, they were a bunch of disgusting people. Were they disgusting? Is it something that we can conclude from the paragraph? No. Pizza came into the scene to cater to their demands. True. So as you can see, A, B and D are true. C is can't say, and therefore our answer should be option C. We are looking for what cannot be inferred. So please refer to the second paragraph and you would find all the relevant information right there. So that's about our passage. Here is the next set of 2 questions. So both of these questions give you 5 sentences and your job is to identify the odd one out. Ready? So here is the first one. Go ahead, give it a shot and tell me what you think. Okay. So I see that. Okay, so I'd say I do tend to agree with you on this. The answer is indeed option 1. So good job spotting that. See, 1 talks about the company that he owns, whereas 2, 3, 4 and 5, all the 4 are talking about one specific incident, one specific event, and that is why 1 becomes the odd one out, right? So you look at 2, this happened, he seized the moment, so went on a promotional spree, flurry of ads, and then it worked. So 2, 3, 4, 5 all. So I mean, if I were to arrange them, I'd actually say 2, 5, 4 and 3. or 2, 5, 3, 4. I haven't looked at it that carefully, but 1 would definitely stick out as a sore thumb, and therefore should be the answer. And here is the next odd one out for you. Please go ahead, have a look at it and tell me what you think. Okay, so if you look at all of these sentences, what do you see? First is talking about no country would be obliged to offer shelter to anyone. Then if you are willing to take in refugees, asylum seekers, if you are willing to offer shelter, you will have a monetary or a financial incentive. C is talking about EU member states to choose whether to accept refugees or not. 4 is talking about some countries who are going to be disappointed because they retain default responsibility for managing asylum claims. 5th, no mandatory refugee quotas. So you notice the theme that emerges. 1, 2, 3 and 5 are talking about it is a country's call whether to accept asylum seekers or not, and then there is a financial incentive for them to accept them. 4th, on the other hand, is talking about certain countries not being happy because they have to bear that responsibility of managing asylum seekers, asylum claims. So somehow that does not sound harmonious with the rest of the sentences. So the other 4 are talking about easing that pressure. 4th is talking about some countries still facing that pressure, and therefore if you just look at the overall theme, you'd realize 4th is difficult to put in, and therefore 4th is our answer. So so after a couple of odd one outs, what do we have next? 2 parajumbles. So 4 sentences each. Your job is to arrange them in the right sequence, the right order. So here is your question number 7. Okay, let's get some answers now. Ooh, Radha Vinod, that's close. It's almost there. Just focus on this. Just think of when we are supposed to use this. So can I say even within is used to make something narrow? So the core idea in 3 is that we are leaving out regions. First talks about concentrating on Eurasian and North African societies. Third is talking about leaving out a part of even Eurasia, focusing more on Western Eurasia. So you need to have a sentence right before which talks about leaving out of regions, and that is given in fourth. So you notice native societies of other parts of the world. First talks about where we focus. Fourth says other parts of the world are left out, and then you use even within Eurasia you are leaving out the rest of the Eurasia except for the western part. So this even within makes fourth narrower. It goes on to extend the thought and the idea mentioned in fourth and not the thought and the idea mentioned in first. So that is why it should be 1, 4, 3, 2. And those of us who have put 2 at the beginning, look at this. Can 2 come before 1? History before the emergence of writing around 3000 BC also receives brief treatment. So you need to have some idea before that gets brief treatment, and that brief treatment is given to you in 4 and 3. So you notice. So the best sequence will actually be 1, 4, 3, 2. I think the only catch here was this, even within. I knew in this question that this is going to be the tricky part anyway, and that's the key learning that I wanted you to have through this particular question. Here is the next one. So keep focusing and then tell me the answer. If you're somebody who follows clues, then I think you will find this question a tad bit easier as compared to the previous one. Okay, answers. Lot better. Absolutely. The correct answer should be 2, 1, 4, 3. So you notice second is talking about buyers and sellers. So we are talking about buying and then selling respectively. And then the widening pattern continues. That pattern is established by 1 and 4, and therefore we are putting 3 after them and not before them. Those of us who have started Studyholic, do a very simple task. Okay, I have a very simple job for you. Look at, just read up a little on read up a little on composing academic paragraphs. Okay, or writing academic paragraphs. Just go through whatever links that you get from this keyword search. Make sure that those links belong to some university or the other. And I'm sure after reading that, when you look at this particular question, you would immediately be able to put 1 after 3. You'd immediately be able to put 1 after 2. Right? So, and here are a couple of additional questions. So I have 2 questions for you in this particular segment. Every question gives you a paragraph followed by a question, and I'll tell you what I am going to ask. So, you know, in reading comprehension, we say that we have a lot of reasoning based questions, and the basics of those reasoning based questions actually come from an area that we popularly call critical reasoning. So these 2 questions are essentially critical reasoning questions, which are these are going to test your conceptual clarity, conceptual understanding of the reasoning aspect of it, and they can give you a deeper insight into whether you have the necessary clarity for reasoning based questions or not. Of course, the other benefit is that we get direct critical reasoning based questions in exams like NMAT and ZAT. So it'll also help you with those exams in a very direct manner. So here is the information, the paragraph for question number 9. So please read the paragraph. This is what you are supposed to do. So the next slide has your answer choices, and while looking at the answer choices, you can always use the seeker to refer to the paragraph once again. Okay, so please read this. You have 20 seconds and then I'll take you over to the options. Hang on, this should be just a comma. Okay, so here are the answer choices. You are supposed to choose something that strengthens the argument, right? So go ahead and do it. Okay, so I see 2 answer choices already. I am sure more people are going to chime in. Let's see. And that's absolutely right. B is indeed the correct answer choice. And with that, let me take you over to the next one. Here it is on your screen. Okay, so here are the options. I hope by now you've done the needful. Okay, so looking at it conceptually, how do we go on to weaken? We go on to weaken by questioning a premise or the assumption. So here, I think you're definitely right when you choose C. One of the assumptions was that everything among all the participants was equal and the study is well designed. So C tells us that, well, the participants were not even equal, and therefore the data that the conclusion is based on could also turn out to be false. So C it is. So that's basically it for today. So if you liked working with me, don't forget to hit the like button. And do you want to practice more? Here you go. We are bringing in a CAT marathon which will start at 1 p.m. on 15th of October. And I doubt we'd be able to finish it in 4 hours. So let's hope that you join in and that you stay with us and practice for a prolonged period. Do you want to practice even more? There you go. We're starting a CAT crash course. So every day at 7 p.m. you can join us and we can solve more and more questions. Then do you want to practice even more? Dude, we are next and last All India Open Mock will take place. The window will open on 27th of October. So that will give you one more opportunity to practice and test where you stand right before the exam. And if you want to practice even more, you can consider enrolling for our test series, which gives you access to 10,000 practice questions and more than 80 mocks. So, and people who do that actually have gone on to get great results in the past. And if you are facing some conceptual issues, now I don't think at this juncture it will be fair for me to tell you that, hey, join our CAT 23 batches. But then, hey, if you're struggling with the concepts of something or the other, and they're just minor issues, or the issues aren't very many, unlock the 3-day free trial and make sure that you utilize those 3 days fully well by referring to the right chapter that is bothering you the most. Okay, so that's it from me today. I look forward to meeting you guys once again tomorrow and a day after for our marathon. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, and I don't even need to tell it to you, but keep working hard. Right? So see you real soon. Don't forget to like the video before you leave. Have a great day ahead.